I'm alive. I should be live. I am live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to That's Football. Sorry we're a little bit late. We're just trying to sort out a few technical issues, but we are live, and I'll make sure that we will be live for the start of the match. It's not started yet, but basically had a few problems, as you can see, with the stats on the screen, which we will get started. Don't worry about it. Don't have a cow, man. I can tell people in the chat are going mad. They're going mad. They're going, Goldbridge is live and we've not got the live score or the stats. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? You're going to sit down and wait and chill. And the match hasn't even started yet. So calm yourself down. It'll be absolutely fine. We'll get there. But we've just been sorting it out. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine. We're going to have a good time. I'm looking forward to this game. Really am. I'm predicting 7-0, says Sandy. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, it's the 7th of January. It's the 7th of March. We lost 7-0. Ha ha. You know, I can't hide from it. But I am looking forward to this game tonight because I think there's a lot of pressure on. Potter. I don't know whether you've noticed. But let's have a look at the team news for you anyway. We've got Kepa in goal, Fofana, Koulibaly and Cucurella. He does change his team a lot, but he has got Reece James and Chilwell. I think that's so important. And he's got Kovacic and Fernandes. I think that's so important. I actually think the strongest area of the pitch for that Chelsea side is James, Kovacic, Fernandes and Chilwell. Koulibaly, Fofana and Cucurella. Look, you haven't got Thiago Silva and I prefer Badiashile. João Felix, Sterling and Havertz worries me. I don't think Sterling's reliable this year. I don't think Havertz is reliable this year. But you look at his bench, Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek, Bettinelli, Chalobah, Mudryk, Zakaria, Ziyech, Gallagher, Bergstrom, Hall and Chukwuemeka. Madueke not fit again. I mean, that was always going to be a bit of a problem. They just look a bit flat up front, Chelsea. I think that's going to be the case until they buy a striker. But Dortmund, Meyer, Wolf, Sule, Schlotterbeck, Guerrera, Chan, Brandt, Bellingham, Oskan, Royce, Haller. It's a good side. And I think they're going to give it. They're going to give it a good go. So let's get ready to rumble here. I'm thinking it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a big game. I think it's going to be a big game. Madueke can't be in the Champions League squad. Thank you very much for pronouncing that. No Adeyemi. Great point. Well made. He's... I think he must be injured. He's not even on the bench. No Adeyemi and no Moukoko either. I mean, I don't follow German football enough to know what's going on. Malin's on the bench, but they've got no Arena's on the bench. Dawood's on the bench. They've got some good players on the bench. But Binu Gittins is a young English player, if I'm right, number 43. Someone let me know in the chat. But no Adeyemi and no Moukoko, so they may well be injured. I don't know about that. Welcome to the Members Club, Forest Gamer. Thank you very much. Adeyemi's out with injury, yes. Thank you very much for that. I'm not saying yes that he's injured, by the way. I'm just saying somebody just said in the chat that he is confirmed as injured. They're both injured, says Tyler. Thanks very much for that. You're very, very welcome. Appreciate it. Good. Nice one. Why is the game so late to start? I've got the right channel on. It's not started yet. It's 3 minutes past 8. Why have they not started the game? Why has the match been delayed, says DC? What's going on? Messi's eating crisps. It's sat in a chair eating crisps. What's going on? Should be 3-0. It should have started. It's delayed until by 10 minutes. It's been delayed by 10 minutes because of a team bus delay. Well, that's all right. Players haven't even come out on the pitch yet. But Benfica are winning 1-0 against Scott Parker FC. I didn't even know what a finish that is. Who scored that for Benfica? João Mario. What's he doing playing football still? He's been playing for years. I've been in airplane mode since Sunday, says the Genius Knows. Yeah, I sort of wish I had. Apparently it's offside, Benfica's goal. João Mario is about 90 and they've ruled it out. But Chelsea are just about to come on the pitch here. 10-minute delay, which is quite good because I was delayed. I saw some news that United is interested in buying Kovacic. Do you think he would be a good alternative if De Jong doesn't come to United? Lots of love, Mark, says Kaz. Well, we've got a bit of time, so why not talk about it? Kovacic is currently 28, so he's younger than I thought. I would have said Kovacic was 29. He'll be 29 in the summer. I like Kovacic. Yeah, I do like Kovacic. I'd take him at Man United based on what we've got at the moment. But I don't think that I don't think United will go for him. Really, I'd be very surprised if he was to leave. Yeah, I can't really see it. If I'm honest with you, but I do like him, and I think it'd be well worth it. What was I going to say? Oh, Bellingham. Obviously, Jude Bellingham liked the old. You'll love this in the chat. So Jude Bellingham liked Trent Alexander-Arnold's. Trent Alexander-Arnold's picture at the weekend where Manchester United obviously won 7-0. I don't think Jude Bellingham's coming to Manchester United. I said that this morning on the United stand. I think it's a very big indicator that he's not going to be coming to Manchester United, which Liverpool fans are very, very confident that he will go there. So, I mean, look, would I rather Bellingham went to Real Madrid or Liverpool? I'd probably rather he went to Real Madrid because I don't really want him to go to Liverpool. But on the other hand, I think he needs to play in the Prem. So I think he will end up playing for Liverpool. I think he's got a good relationship with Jordan Henderson. I think that's where he's going to end up playing, isn't he? But, you know, it is what it is. But he might, and I think a lot of people did think that maybe Liverpool wouldn't be in the Champions League this season, but I think they probably are going to be in the Champions League this season now after what's happened in the last few games. Thoughts on Xavi Simons to United? He can play 5 positions, says Elias. Oh, he's a good player, yeah, he's a good player. But we're just waiting to get the game ahead, get the game going here. And have we got the stats on the screen yet? No, not quite. Let's have a look what's going on. Yeah, we've got nice ones. So cool. Players are on the pitch now. It's been delayed by 10 minutes because of a delayed bus, apparently. So that's what's going on there. No, nothing dramatic, but it is a dramatic game for Chelsea. They're losing 1-0 on from the first leg in Dortmund. Dortmund are a good side. Chelsea need to score goals, which is something they're not very good at. Can they do it? I'm going to go Chelsea to win it 2-0. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. But oh, yeah. I brush my teeth with cold water, says Dane. Good stuff. What's your prediction? 2-0. 2-0. To Chelsea. Right, handshakes are going on. Game has been delayed because of a late bus, apparently. A few people saying 1-1. Dortmund are good. They are good. I'll give them that. There we go. Oh. I don't like what they've done with the Dortmund font, but at least we've got it working. Right, okay. I'm just in time, actually, which is good. To be honest, it doesn't normally work out like that, but it's actually worked out better for us that this game has been delayed by 10 minutes because it's allowed us to get all the stats up and running, which was why we were late in the first place. What about Mbappe to United, Mark? Seems to be very friendly with Rashford and Sancho, says Uzi. We need to get new owners first. D. Will says, I'm a bit worried about Chelsea scoring goals. Yeah, I don't rate your front three. I don't really understand why Havertz has to start every single game. But then again, you look at the bench and you can understand why. I'm no Chelsea fan, and I find Havertz massively frustrating. But maybe playing German opposition, he might do quite well. Will Potter get the boot in the morning, says Tumbleweed. I mean, whether he gets the boot in the or not, I don't know. I think he's got a very difficult job. I actually, I don't know whether this is a controversial take or not, but I think if Romelu Lukaku was at Chelsea, it'd be a better option than Havertz, and you'd probably score more goals. I know Lukaku's limited, but I actually think he would be quite useful for Chelsea at the moment. Thoughts on Carragher's analysis of the flaws of United man-on-man defensive system versus Liverpool's diamond, Mark? Think other teams will copy Liverpool's, as Connor. I saw it, and I actually think he got it wrong. Yeah, I think he's made that up. It makes sense when you watch it, but I don't actually agree with it. I think the thing is, I've seen a few people analyse the United-Liverpool game, and I don't even have to say what I think. It's four different experts telling me four different things. I think you can see things that you want to see. I think tactics are very subjective, because even in a 10-minute period of a match, you might see a team that's not a counter-attacking team counter-attack. You might see a team that's not an attacking team play a high line. So I just think people see what they want to see. I disagree with Carragher's analysis of the game. I don't think it was a... look at the yellow there. The Dortmund fans are loving this. Yellow flares. And I'm not talking about the ones you wear on your legs. No disco music. I'm talking about the sky is yellow. And we're up and running here. And I'm looking forward to this game. Not going to lie. Looking forward to it. And I hope it's going to be a good one. Who do you think is the best centre-back in the world, says Forest Gamer? You can't talk to me about that at the moment. And if we don't get De Jong, who is your replacement, says Farah? I don't know, but it's not going to be Jude Bellingham. I'll tell you that for free. Big shout out to Fennec and the mods in the chat. I'm just trying to read some comments, but I'm just seeing so many blocked messages. I don't know whether you see that in the chat. Do you see like Bright Days Ahead blocked? I presume you don't, but it makes me hard. It makes it hard for me to read stuff out, because I just get. Big shout out to the mods. I know they'll be doing it for a good reason, but obviously there's a few of them being cleared out at the moment, so it just makes me hard to read your chats. Okay. Yeah, they just disappear, so shift gears. Okay. Well, it's an early corner for Dortmund here. Chelsea are... I thought that was going in. Defensively, Chelsea good. Enzo Fernandez and Kovacic is a midfield too I like. Here is Kovacic. Nice ball into Havertz. A bit of space. Sterling's offside there. He's offside. Oh, what the fuck? What is he even doing anyway? You're offside in a one-on-one, and he doesn't even finish. Sabotage. Is he offside? Yeah, it looks offside to me. Is the number that must not be named blocked, says Jammy? Well, it might. I don't think it's actually blocked, but people are getting blocked, yeah. How's your back this week, says Goris? It's doing okay. If you've got any good topics you want to discuss, get involved. Anything for half time. I like to do an 8 thing. So we have a top 8 of something, and then we do the polls at half time. So obviously we've done... I don't know what we did last time, but it was quite good. Preferably something that's not to do with Manchester United, yeah. Because Manchester United will always win. Raghav says, what's your thoughts on Marco Reus? If your screen's very yellow, it's from all the smoke that the Dortmund fans have set off. Might get to a point where they actually, have to delay the game a little bit more. I don't know what visibility's like for the players, but it is quite misty out there. There's a yellow mist. Reminds me of my first piss of the day. We've all been there. What do you think about City and Vardiel, says Pele? Have they been linked to him? I mean, I know Chelsea were looking to him before, but Brandt's gone down injured here. He will move this summer, but it was always talked that Vardiel was going to go to Chelsea, but I can't see them needing another centre-back. Hi, Mark. Do you think Chelsea will perform as badly next season as they have this season, says Ron? Look, whether Potter stays or they get a new manager, I think Chelsea will be better next season. They've got a high volume of good players. You've got Nkunku coming in the summer, and I think Nkunku in this team now would be a real asset. I think you'll buy another striker, whether it's Osman or somebody else. I think Chelsea will be better next season because they score a lot of goals. They don't score a lot of goals, but they don't concede many goals. So if they can add goals to their team, I think they'll be all right. Ronald says that Jude Bellingham won't leave Dortmund this summer. I guarantee he will. Guarantee he will. Alvin says Brandt's injured, would be a huge blow. Well, they've just taped up his hamstring. I think he's coming off. I've never seen a player play on with a taped up hamstring. He ain't playing on. He's coming off. I played the game. He's coming off. What are we thinking? I don't think he's playing on here. No, he's already coming off. Rainer's coming on. So that's a big blow for them. Julian Brandt, off he comes. Nothing he can do. Apparently Laporte will most likely move on, says Pele. Vardiel's a good player. Would be a good signing for them. Chelsea got a chance to whip a free kick in here. And cleared by Byrne. Best stadium in the Championship, says Forest Gamer. Come on, tell me. Tell me what's the best stadium in Wakey Wakey. Come on. What's the best stadium in the Championship? I'm just having a look at who's in Championship. I'll tell you what my favourite stadium in the Championship is. Burnley, obviously not. Sheffield United, never liked that. Middlesbrough, never liked that. Blackburn. Luton, used to like the old plastic pitch. Don't really like the new one. Norwich is okay. Millwall's okay. Coventry, Watford, no. Sunderland, no. West Brom is okay. Preston, okay. Bristol, okay. Hull, okay. Reading, no. Stoke, no. Swansea, it's a bit static. Here we go, João Felix. Good play. Good save by the keeper. Rotherham, Birmingham, I like QPR. I do like QPR. Huddersfield, Blackpool, Wigan, Cardiff. For me, it's between Cardiff and Norwich. Sorry, not Cardiff. QPR and Norwich would be my favourite two in the Championship. It's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. It depends what your attachment is. I think of QPR and I think of Les Ferdinand. I think of Norwich and I think of Jeremy Goss. Mayoute. It's a personal thing. So that's what I'm thinking. Koulibaly got up for the header there, but it's well wide. I've got to pick one. I think the Rico Arena is lifeless, by the way, so I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with QPR. I like that ground. It reminds me of old match of the days. Goldbridge getting in from playing football. Bloody Burnley, if you know, you know, says Kaz. At least it's got a bit of an atmosphere, Burnley. I can't say Blackburn. Not after they won the title offers in 95. Anyone remember Darren Peacock? Centre-back for QPR. Long hair. Longer than John Bon Jovi. You doing a watch-along tomorrow, Rob? Yes, I am. Looking forward to that. Bayern against PSG. Lovely ball in. Havertz. Come on, against the German club. Oh, he's rubbish. He's rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish. And they gave Timo Werner stick. He's so bad. This is it. Every time I watch Chelsea, they've already had 3 good chances. Koulibaly's header, João Felix's shot that was saved, and now Havertz, who can't even put it on target. I'm going to jinx him on Twitter. Oh, now João Felix has gone down. Good game, though. Good tempo to it. I'd rather have Timo Werner. To be honest, I always liked Timo Werner. Oh, João Felix might be hurt here because it's one of those innocuous slips. This would be bad news if he's injured. No, he's all right. He's all right. I don't know what's happened to Havertz. Lovely play by Kovacic. I don't know what's happened to Havertz. He's not a terrible footballer. I remember when Real Madrid wanted him, Bayern Munich wanted him, Man United wanted him. It's just which teams in the Championship should be in the Prem? I see that in the past the Prem looked so different, says EG. And Dortmund were fire in 2011-12, making of Klopp, says Kelsing. Went to the Man United game Sunday. Worst I've seen in 20 years, says Alex. Good tempo start by Chelsea. That's a foul. That's quite a bad foul by Cucurella on Bellingham. Might get booked. I think PSG will go through tomorrow, says Craig. No, they're going to let it go. No, I don't. I think PSG are going out. To be honest, no, it's not a bad foul at all. He was pretty. He actually hit the ground. Just tripped him up, really. And Will Deal makes a good point. Havertz is a number 10, not a number 9. Yeah, so Bayern are 1-0 up against PSG, and it's in Munich. Obviously, Neymar's out for the season. I just can't see. When you've got players like Mbappe and Messi, you've always got a chance. But I just can't see it, to be honest. What about St Andrews before it started falling down, says use code. Look at them. They're having a right laugh, the Dortmund lot. Look at them hopping around, jumping up and down. A night in London town. Be busy tonight. Good luck finding a bar open past 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night in London. Capital city of Europe, some would say. Can't get a pint after 11:30. I remember being in O'Neill's in Trafalgar Square. I'd just been on the Jack the Ripper walk, and we're in O'Neill's in Trafalgar Square at 11 o'clock, really busy. And I think that was a Tuesday night. Next thing I know, the doormen are going around saying, drink up. Why? We're closing. Why? Because we close at 11. Why? Because that's what we do. Stop being lippy. I was like, all right, I'm not getting punched for this. But I said, well, where do you go? Well, you're in a hotel? Yeah, go in the hotel bar. I said, I'm in a bloody travel lodge. The hotel bar is the shitty little fridge in your room that doesn't even have anything in. TTV says that Chelsea won't get into the top 6. No, they won't. Well spotted, well done. Of course, Chelsea are losing, remember. Not losing in the game tonight, but they are losing in relation to the game. I've played the game. Do 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 do. Here's Dortmund, Haller with a bad pass, but Fofana's there, and he plays a bad pass, and then Cucurella plays a bad pass. That's a free kick. As a Tottenham fan, I'd like to hear your thoughts on our game against AC Milan tomorrow. Can we make it to the quarterfinals, or will Milan lock us out, says Hay. I feel like I'm repeating this, but I did do it on Thogden's channel, and a lot of people probably don't watch Thogden who watch this, to be fair. Looking at the football fill-in comments yesterday, I think there's a certain sort of people that... And I like Thogden, he's very popular, but I think some people who watch my content probably don't watch him much. So I went on his Champions League predictions, and I actually spoke about this on there, so apologies if you've already seen it. But I think Spurs will beat AC Milan, and my reasoning is Napoli are amazing and can mix it up with anybody. There is Serie A team that can travel and take that out of Serie A and beat teams. That's not normal. Serie A is a really interesting league, but their teams don't normally travel that well in Europe at the moment because it's not of the standard of a Bundesliga or a La Liga or a Premier League. So, as inconsistent as Spurs are, I think they'll have too much for AC Milan tomorrow. This is how it feels to be lonely. This is how it feels to be small. But no, it's only an opinion. I'm not jinxing you. I think you will go through. What do you think about Brighton's top four chances? Limited depth, but that starting 11's looking fantastic. I'd love it to happen, Nicholas. I really would love it to happen, but the problem is they'd have to win all 3 games in hand just to get into 4th place, wouldn't they? And this league is way too competitive. I mean, I can't lie. I can't say that I've spent any time looking at the fixtures that Brighton have got. Dortmund are on the attack here. Gone back for a free kick on the edge of the box. Brighton's fixtures are this. They've got Leeds away on Saturday. Tough place to go. Then they've got Palace at home. That's always a tough game for them. Then they've got the cup game against Grimsby, which they'll win. Then they've got Brentford at home. Then they've got Bournemouth away. Then they've got Tottenham away. Then they've got Chelsea away. Then they've got Man City at home. Forest away. Wolves at home. Everton at home. Arsenal away. Southampton at home. Villa away. I mean, they technically could win 80% of those games. They've got to play Man United at home as well. But, yeah. Pep said that company will take over after him. Pepe said that company will take over after him. Oh, don't know about that. Amrabat will be a good replacement for Kante. Apparently some people have got a problem with their sound. It's fine at my end. Oh, what a save by Kepa. Good free kick from Dortmund. Yeah, just refresh it. It'll be fine. What a save by Kepa. It's a lovely free kick by Royce. Up and up. That's a really good free kick. I mean, it's one for the cameras. Ben Foster would say that's one for the cameras because he's got a full hand on it. He's not even tipping it. But good free kick. I would describe it as a good save. I wouldn't say it was a world-class save. But Dortmund showing their capabilities there. Yeah, he's got a good hand on that. Good save. Ivan says it was a lucky save. I don't know about that. Corner. Well done. I've paused social media and YouTube after our Sunday loss. It still hasn't sunk in. You're my first football interaction. God bless you. Love from India, says Summerjit. Thanks, mate. Thanks for super chat. Mendy's still injured, isn't he? Mark, do you think we'll see Donny play again for United? Says Joel Morris. Well, I don't think he's going to get sold in the summer because I think he'll still be injured in the summer. So yeah, I don't think I think he will be a Man United player next season. In which case, yeah, but he probably will play for United. I think if he wasn't injured, he probably would have. He probably wouldn't have played for Man United again. But I don't think. I I mean, Ten Hag never gives prognosis on injuries anyway, so I don't know whether Donny's out. There's no reason not to tell us how long Donny's out for. Is he back in the summer? Is he back at Christmas? Can't sell an injured player, says Chris. Come on, give me some. I want to do one at half time. I want to have a top 8 of something that we can do: quarterfinals, semi-finals, final. I'm thinking. What about top 8 left backs in the world? Lovely ball to Sterling. He's so bad. Sterling's so bad. What has happened to Sterling? He's rubbish. He's so bad. Like his link-up plays unbelievably terrible. I think he's doing it on purpose. Top 8 pundits, says Craig. There's only one, Ali McCoist. Out of all the Premier League managers, who would win in a WWE style bout, says Max. Well, now Sean Dyche is back, I would kick the living shit out of everybody. I'll ram my throat. I'll ram my. Shut up, Tarkovsky. I'll ram my fist right down their throat, and their teeth will be talking out their arse. I don't think Chelsea system suits him, says Tumbleweed. Well, he's very one-dimensional then, because that's good play. Good play into João Felix. He's got to exploit the space here. That's a foul. Will Hod says, top 8 video games you've played. I really want to start playing Grand Theft Auto again. Top 8 managers, says Lenny. Top 8 players for each position in a 4-3-3. That would take forever, Oliver. The most shocking game results in Premier League history, says Thomas. Top 8 hottest pundits, says Andy. Well, I'd love to know what your top 8 is. I'm not getting involved in that. Top 8 Premier League transfers from the summer, says Ewan. CS says, can we do another Man United player novels that would never get released? Yeah, we do that sometimes. It's quite good fun, actually. So you give a title for a book that would never get released. So, you know, Pep Guardiola winning the Champions League with Man City. I might have jinxed that. Or Harry Kane polishing silverware. That sort of thing. Or I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody here. Jack Grealish, the most intelligent footballer in the Prem. That sort of stuff. Hi Mark, I'm from America and want to visit Europe in the future. In your opinion, what are the 5 top spots to visit in Europe, says Zakari? Stoke, Swindon. I mean, I can only speak about the UK. Stoke, Swindon, Cardiff. Actually, Cardiff's all right. Stoke, Swindon, Wigan, Derby, and Hull. Coventry, yeah, Coventry be good. King in the North says, How to Fill a Stadium by Manchester City. York's a lovely place, Caden. I put York legitimately in my top 5 places. Caden's writing them down. He's writing down Stoke, Swindon, thinking they're nice. No, York is nice. I like York. Chester's nice as well. I haven't been to Skegness for about 30 years. I imagine it's gone downhill. How to Succeed at a Major Club, co-authored by David Moyes and Graham Potter, forwarded by Stephen Gerrard, says the HPN. Top 8 best players who changed their positions, says Finley. I have been to Leeds. It wasn't too bad. I had a night out in Leeds. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Lincoln's not too bad. The Cathedral's all right. I mean, Chelsea. I'm not surprised by Dortmund. They're a good side. Reina, good cross across the box. Reece James is there. Chelsea just redundant up front. That's their big problem here. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Who's the best player in the world right now, says goalkeeper? I actually think it probably is Mbappe. I mean, people will go on about Messi, but I do think what Mbappe did in that World Cup final was unbelievable. I mean, he basically got France back into a game that they'd lost. I think the big shame about Mbappe is that Messi's excuse is he had to leave Barcelona, and it's a very good place to come and make money, PSG. Mbappe has spent most of his youth and now heading into his prime playing in a league that he shouldn't be playing in. My regret with Messi is that he never played in the Prem, but I can't argue with what he did at Barcelona. My problem with Mbappe is that you only get one career, and if he's going to go down as a great, it won't be playing for PSG in the French league. He's got to get out. He's got to come and play in the Prem, or he's got to go to Real Madrid. He's got to go quick. Otherwise, his career's just going to slip away. What is he, 24 now? Well, if he leaves in the summer or he leaves next summer, he's still got, 5 years of his prime in the Prem. But I do think that, if he's going to see that contract out, and there's nothing to say that he won't sign another one. Emre Can's gone down. Can't say I'm feeling sympathetic towards him after what he said about Man United and Liverpool. Benfica have scored now. Thank you very much. Potty training by Gary Lineker. I don't get it, noob. Oh, yeah, I do now. You know what? He's had a very, very lucrative sponsorship deal with Walker's Crisps as Gary Lineker. I think he could get away with doing one with Pampers as well. Even if Chelsea don't have a striker, they should play to their strengths. Like Pep did when he didn't have a number 9, says Jack. Maxi says, Havertz makes me upset and I'm not even a Chelsea fan. Well, the Chelsea playing with 9 men. Every time I watch them, they're playing with 9 men. Sterling and Havertz are terrible. João Felix is the only attacker that looks like he might do something. Why? And also, can I just say, it's so obvious to me that Potter has been given this job because he's an inexperienced coach that can be manipulated by a board that want to make all the footballing decisions. Because there's no way Potter wanted Mudryk. There's no way. If he did, he'd be picking him. You don't buy a player like Mudryk and not pick him. I mean, for that value. I presume Badiashil's injured as well. I mean, their injury record is a joke. Oh, is it? Oh my Christ! How has that not gone in from Havertz? Have you ever seen a shot hit the post like that? Chelsea still have Lukaku on loan at Inter. I've got to say, I don't know how this doesn't go in. Because as much as we have a pop at Havertz, he's hit this so well on his left foot. It's hit the inside of the post and gone across the goal and out for a goal kick. So it hits one post, goes across the goal and goes out for a goal kick. Badiashil's not registered, says Salah. Thank you very much. Well, that might get the crowd up. My First Year in Mensa by Jack Grealish. Polishing Trophies Effectively by Harry Kane. And My Life in the Coal Mines by Simon Jordan, says Luke Jones. Where should Maddison go, says Andy J. I think he'll go to Newcastle. I know they really like him. I could see him going to... I can't really see... The thing about Maddison, he's got to go somewhere that he can play. So I think Newcastle would be perfect for him because he'd probably play every game. He goes to Arsenal, he'll be on the bench. Man United, you'll be on the bench. Man City, you'll be on the bench. Chelsea, depends who your manager is, but probably on the bench. What's your thoughts about Weghorst touching the Anfield sign? I wouldn't have bothered trying to justify it because he's just got himself. He's put more focus on it. So basically, as United were walking onto the pitch on Sunday, this is Anfield sign, which apparently a United player has never touched. Weghorst touched it, which pissed a few United fans off. He's then put a statement out tonight saying he only touched it because he was trying to push Van Dijk's hand away, and his hand touched it. And people don't believe him. So, but apparently, I don't know whether it's true. I did see a quote, but it was from a Liverpool paper that he'd said when he was at Wolfsburg that his dream was to play for Liverpool. I mean, I think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup, but he'd have been better off just saying nothing, I think. It's not the reason we lost 7-0 anyway. Half an hour gone here. Time for a stretch. Is City stadium expansion a financial fair play, says Joshua. Well, I mean, I don't want to bore people about financial fair play, but it's the best way to get around financial fair play is to get more people in the ground to boost your revenue, which opens up the gap between your revenue and your wages and transfer fees. So you've got more revenue to spend on transfers. I've got a book by Man City. Cheats Never Prosper by Manchester City. What's your height, Mark? Oh, I'm not doing it, jack of all trades. Everyone knows my height and then they argue about it. I've got another book title, Indestructible by Anthony Martial. I like that one. I was trying to think of an injury-prone player. Indestructible by Anthony Martial. That's the sort of content we're looking for when you're doing these book titles. That's it. We're doing book titles that will never get written. I've had 2 good ones already: Polishing Silverware by Harry Kane and Indestructible by Anthony Martial. So far, so good for Dortmund. Remember, they're winning 1-0 on aggregate. Could go to extra time. Kovacic over the bar. Loyalty by Ashley Cole, says Jude. Would you take Kane at United next season, Mark, says Sakil? Well, I would take him, but he wouldn't be my first choice. I think that's the best way of putting it. Who do you want to win, says Quirksy? I'd like Chelsea to win. I want Potter to do... I wouldn't say I want Potter to do well, because I'm a United fan, but I do think he's been hung out to dry a bit, and as an English manager, I'd like to see an English manager managing a top 4 side. The Art of Over Celebration by Roy Keane, says Ewan. No, I've got one for Roy Keane. Disco Dancing by Roy Keane. Dirty Dancing by Roy Keane. Dancing Queen by Roy Keane. Anything that's got dancing in the title, because he hates dancing. Over the Top by Harry Kane, says Darren. My Friendship with Paul Pogba by Graham Souness, says Zach. Best of Friends. You know, actually, did anyone? I don't know whether anyone's old enough here, but on fantasy football years ago with Badil and Skinner, they always used to take the piss out of Gary Lineker and Willie Thorne. And apparently there was a book they wrote. No, it was a video. The official story of Gary Lineker and Willie Thorne, best of friends. There you go. Rest in peace. Not Gary Lineker. That would be breaking news. Willie Thorne. Learn English with Gabby Agbonglahor, says James. And do you think Brighton, Brentford or Fulham could get lower Europa this season, says Luke. I think they could. How to be a Sporting Pundit by Gabby Agbonglahor and Gary Neville. Well, you've got me thinking of something now. In fact, João Felix is going to shoot from a stupid angle. That'll go for a corner. Trying to get the crowd up. Good behaviour by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, says Cal. Can't stop scoring by Kai Havertz, says Dean. Tactical awareness by Ollie, says Lecky. And impenetrable by Maguire, by Jack of all trades. Life in the fast lane by Gareth Southgate, says Manchester United. Secret Lovers by Paul Pogba and Graham Souness, says Not a bad corner, but it's cleared away by Dortmund. 36 minutes gone. They're a hard team to watch, Chelsea. Losing a game by Antonio Conte's assistant, says Ben. And this does not slip by Steven Gerrard, says Shub. He probably will release that at some point. How to put the ball in the back of the net by Kai Havertz, says Nicky. Brilliant balance by Salah and Sterling, says Ethan Street. Staying on your feet by Jack Grealish. Future Star by Zlatan Ibrahimovic, says Pele. Cooking with Spice by Gareth Southgate. A Life in Colour, also by Southgate. Nice ball here. Cucurella. Oh, still Dortmund on the attack. Lovely ball. And Kepa's got it. Friction by Steven Gerrard. The Art of Possession by Simeone, says MEFCETH. Hi Mark, today is Ollie Mark Donohue's birthday, so I was wondering if you could wish him a happy birthday and say, Donny, you're a knobhead, matey, says Aaron Matthews. Big save by the keeper. Here's Havertz. Got to lay that off quicker. What a goal! What a goal! He's offside, shite. He can't believe it. He can't catch a break. It's about the structure by Jamie Carragher, says Govind, and starting games by Phil Jones, says Joshua. I tell you what, Havertz has just scored an absolute screamer here. I think Sterling's offside in the first chance. So Sterling, they're going to go back for that. It's a great finish by Havertz, but they're going to go offside for the Sterling chance. Which I suppose technically is correct. Or Oil or Nothing by Almiron, says Duldulet. Well, they've been a bit unlucky, Chelsea. They've hit the post. They've had a goal offside. Irma says, having a spine by Liverpool fans. 50 games a season by Neymar, says Jockin. Yeah, he always gets injured in early March. You know, actually, I used to joke about this every year. I've probably got historical tweets about it. I think his sister's birthday is in early March. Every year he gets injured in early March. Well, it's probably not every year, but it's certainly a lot of years. Brazil played better against Germany in 2014. That's how bad United were. We buy Casemiro to fill a gap in midfield and he goes missing when needed most. Connor, you got to move on. You got to move on, Connor. Again, another save. I've got to tell you what. I'm getting to the point where Potter is jinxed. They literally miss chance after chance after chance after chance. I'm not joking. Tying your own shoelaces with Gagbig Bonglahor, says Luke Jones. Or not spitting when you speak, Jamie Carragher, says Luke Jones. Not talking shit by most ex-player pundits. Just insert name. Victorious by Tottenham, says Nigel. And Per-Eric Klassen's just gifted 20 memberships. You're a legend, mate. Thanks very much. Hoofball by Guardiola. We're doing titles of books that will never get written. Fitness by Pulisic, says MD. Hamstrings of Steel by Ousmane Dembele. Principles in Responsible Bookkeeping by Manchester City. Responsible Accounting by Manchester City. Gratitude by Chelsea fans, says Jack of all trades. Look, we're watching Chelsea against Dortmund. Sterling was offside, by the way. We're watching Chelsea against Dortmund here. And I have to say that, again, I haven't watched Chelsea every week for the last couple of months, but I've watched them 4 or 5 times. And every time, it's 0-0, or they're losing 1-0. But every game, they have loads of chances. And look, you can moan about Potter, but if they were 2-0 up, this would be described as a really good performance. They probably should be 2-0 up. Here's Chilwell. Oh, fucking hell. It's just... They're so bad at finishing. I ain't even a Chelsea fan. Potter keeps clapping them, but he must be in his head going, how are we not scoring goals? Played really well the last 10 minutes. Can't put the ball in the back of the net. How to Ruin a Football Match by Anthony Taylor, says Blakey. Wakey. Shooting My Shot by Darwin Nunez, says Flyboy. Hey, we can't say that. Vegan Diet by Luis Suarez, says Faroe Islands. Fine Dining by Sean Deitch. I don't know. Maybe he likes fine dining. Maybe he's a brilliant cook, but I imagine Deitchy gets home, nothing's left in the cupboard, so I just go down the pub. 20 pints of Stella and a Scotch egg and 10 packets of scampi fries. And then I just tend to ring up Tarkovsky drunk and call him a prat. Goal! Sterling! 1-0 to Chelsea! It's there! At last! Jinx! Goldbridge has done it, but Chelsea lead 1-0. At last, they deserve that. Chelsea deserve that. Finally, they've scored. They deserve that. They do. Bowley's up on his feet. Potter, finally. I feel bad for him. It was almost getting to the point where I actually felt like he was a kid in this... You know, at school when someone's being bullied and you feel sorry for them. I felt like Potter was in the playground when no one wants to talk to him and actually he's a nice guy. I don't know what more he can do as a coach, is what I'm trying to say. The team's played well. They just can't put the ball in the back of the net. And then finally, they've put the ball in the back of the net. They've actually played well. I've played the game by Piers Morgan, says Stephen Reeves. Good cross by Chilwell. Sterling misses the first one, gets a bit lucky on the 50-50 and then just blasts it. 1-0. Emotionally invested by Avram Glazer, says Andrew. They're still doing the book titles here. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. I need to change the subscriber count because we're very close to 920,000. Remember, on the road to 1 million. Everyone's welcome on here. Daily content, so get involved. Another one tomorrow night. Potter's happy now. He wants to sing Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Just the Facts by Samuel Luckhurst, says Schlock. You could have The Truth by Gary Neville after what he said on Sunday. I still can't believe Paul Merson today on Sky has said, you know, he's had a pop at Bruno for wanting to come off. It's been established it didn't happen. This is what lies can do. I'm stunned that Sky haven't come out and said Bruno Fernandes didn't want to come off and it was a mistake. Because it's totally and utterly irresponsible reporting that has caused the player and his name to be tarnished. Loyalty by Carlos Tevez, says Golden Pocket. Chelsea are rampant now. Stamford Bridge is rocking. This could be great for Potter. Give me back my wood. The Art of Forestry by Sean H, says Mr. Nobody. Well, we're about to hit half time. Reece James gets the 1-2. Back to Chilwell. And an overhead by Havertz, which obviously wouldn't go in. Penalty tutorials by the Croatian national team, says Kaz. And How to Be a Pundit by Gab Big Bonglahor, says Go with the Flow. This Chelsea team, Sterling scoring after a miss-hit. They get a proper striker and they'll cook. Their problem is not Potter, it's finishing. I completely agree with you, Rogine. I've been saying this for ages. Spent £300 million in January and couldn't find... I mean, I know you can't buy Osimhen in January, but if I was Chelsea, I would have gone and spent... I just would have bought a striker. Even Danny Ings... You know, Danny Ings left Aston Villa to go to West Ham. He would be better for Chelsea than Havertz because he can put the ball in the back of the net. I can't believe they didn't buy a striker because they are a good team. They just can't bloody score. Can't bloody score, mate. So we're in for a good second half though because this crowd's rocking and Dortmund now it's level. They're not in front. I sound like Michael Owen. Although here's Royce. They're still coming forward, Dortmund. The pass was on to Royce there. Nearly there. Bro, this Chelsea... I've done that from Rogine. Thanks very much, mate. Thanks very much, mate. Somebody, oh, somebody, oh. I'll tell you what. Does Bellingham look like a £120 million player today? Tonight? I'm just making conversation. I'm not here to. I'm not here to say either way. I've played the game. That's half time. João Felix has played well. I'm just trying to order myself something here. I'm hungry. Got the city on lockdown. I ride with the whole ride. Okay. Let's stop the clock. It's 1-0 to Chelsea at half-time, and I can't deny that it's deserved, because it is deserved. Let's have a look at the stats here, because I think stats sometimes are a load of shat, but in other areas they can be pretty accurate. Where are you? There we are. Take and Boars. So there we go. Dortmund have had more possession. Chelsea have had 11 shots to 3. I want to say this right here, right now. I've been on TalkSport. I've had the Mark Goldbridge show. I've had people calling in. I've got you, the community, as part of the community, debating this. I've done a few videos on Graham Potter. I'm going to keep saying this because I said it about Arteta in the early days, and I had Arsenal fans saying, shut up, it's not your club, you don't know what you're on about. We don't want Arteta. And I was like, no, I can see something there. You do need Arteta. And lo and behold, they did. I'm not saying that Potter's going to emulate what Arteta has done, because he's done a fantastic job. But this is the second time I've watched Chelsea play Dortmund now, and I've seen that ridiculous amount of chances. If you give Chelsea a goal scorer, I said it at the start of the game, I'm not saying Lukaku's the answer, but if you had Lukaku up front, I think you'd be comfortably winning games. Look at that. The same thing happened in Dortmund. Same thing's been happening for weeks in the Prem. They create loads of chances. They just don't. They don't put anybody in the bloody. Put the ball in the back of the net. How to Reach Your Full Potential by Theo Walcott. Managing on a Budget by Guardiola. Living in the Park with a Lot of Pigeons by Piers Morgan, says Luke Jones. I know what you mean. People think that Piers Morgan looks like the one in the park off Home Alone 2. You know, the pigeon lady. I don't know. I don't know. But he can deal with it. Hashtag deal with it. People say I look like... I get... I mean, to be fair, I do get Brad Pitt a lot. I don't. I get Ed Woodward. I get... who else do I get? Wayne Rooney. DiCaprio sometimes. I don't see that. There's a lead singer of a band, apparently. Ian Beale. I think people just throw names. Elrond from Amazon Prime. Yeah, I do get a bit of that sometimes. Teams spend 500 million and becomes better. Shock, says MCFC Tom. And that's not a Man City fan mocking Chelsea for spending 500 million. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's like slagging off a meat eater while you're chewing on a Big Mac. Come on. Man City fan having a pop at Chelsea for spending money. I never thought I'd see the day. And the fact is, you probably used to support Chelsea as well, you snake. How do you reach... I've done that one. We're having a good show time. I'm enjoying it. Gakpo. Sorry, I did it myself there by accident. I do like Gakpo. Gakpo, Nunez, Gakpo, Salah, Nunez, Salah, Firmino. Hope you're doing fine. Oh, I see what you do. The Outlaw Gaming. Look, I'm fine with the 7-0 stuff. I said earlier, you can put 7-0 as much as you like, but I've already lost because there's a 7 right in the bottom corner that's pissing me off. It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. 7 up, 7, this, that and the other. I'm not even going to respond to it in the sense of saying we're 7 points ahead of you, we've won a trophy, you won't win a trophy. Because I just don't think that washes, really. I think, if we beat Liverpool 7-0, which we probably never will, I wouldn't shut up about it as well. But, you should know me by now. Maybe not on the United stand, but on here. I'm not biased in the sense that I will always back my club, but I'll also speak about things in a pragmatic way. As we were just talking about Potter there, I think there's a future for him if those fans give him a chance. There was some idiots at the weekend writing Liverpool off. I thought Man United could win. I wasn't writing Liverpool off. I wasn't end of the era, Klopp's finished and all this. I'm like, Klopp's had a tough season because he hasn't got the backing. And I did a video today on Liverpool as well. I don't know whether anybody saw it. Liverpool not for sale. I think that's almost... I don't know whether Liverpool fans appreciate it, but I think that is a bit of a pin in the needle. A pin in the needle. a pin in the balloon, because if you're staying under FSG, they're already talking about responsible ownership and not going mad in the transfer market. How do you compete with Newcastle and Man City and United if they get Qatar if you're just buying one player a summer? What if Bellingham's the only player you buy in the summer? Is that going to be enough, really? What if he gets injured? You're back where you are now. I think if you want to compete at the top level, you need money. Here's a fiver for tweeting about Sterling playing bad and making him score. You're a legend. By the way, where in Ireland did you live when you were here, says Cian. Malahide, north of Dublin. Chelsea is my secret crush by Mark Goldbridge, has got. No, that's, yeah, but we're doing titles that would never happen. So, thanks for the membership, says Lint. United still losing 5-0 at Anfield, says Brandon. You know what makes me laugh is I was on TalkSport this morning and they put up some clips out, and I retweeted a couple because they asked me to, and I was looking at the comments, and it was like, there was a couple of people. It was the normal like Forest fan stuff, which is just laughable. It's basically, how to expose yourself as a twat. But there were some people saying, "What's this idiot doing on the radio? What does he know about football?" And I thought, fair point. I did actually think fair point, because it could be you. But what really got me was, but surely I or you having our say on the radio is better. What are these people saying? They don't want me or you on the radio because they actually want more of Gabby Agbonlahor, Gary Neville and all that lot. I don't really get it. So maybe it's just bitterness and jealousy, but I actually think football debate is far more better than it's been ever, because actually so many people can have a debate. I don't like the whole, the actors. There's some paid actors out there who just make up something each day to do a video about. It's funny actually, after the Liverpool game at the weekend, obviously I've been doing this for years, so it's like it or lump it, that's who I am. I've sat here with you for nearly 2 hours tonight watching a game. You can't act. It is what it is. I tell you what, I saw some compilations that somebody sent me, and it was like there was me, and then there was varying shades of shit copies of me. Like, they literally, some of them even used the word bloody hell, which is completely from this distinct place that I live, that people say bloody hell like that. So the amount of people who just copy you is it's scary. That they even have the graphics the same. They even try and use my accent. They even use my words. It's mad. The world is a mad place. I apologise for that. I don't mind people if they don't like the content I do, or you do like it. But the fact that there's shit versions of it, it's like when you go on holiday and you see a crap version of a Barcelona kit. I always wonder who buys it. Shady has had his chat deleted there. People forget Liverpool got beat 7-2 by Villa. I don't think we forgot at the time. Look, you got to take it. Look, I've played the game, and when I say I've played the game, I mean I use that as a term for life. I've got quite a bit of experience. I'm getting old. I've witnessed Man United get beat by Southampton. Battered by Newcastle. That's the worst result away from home I can think of, because not only is the volume of goals, and I hate using the word volume because that's never a good thing when you're talking about a defeat and you're using the word volume. The volume of goals and where it was and who it was against, that's the worst result. It's the worst. Ollie's one at home just over a year ago was the worst, and now we've eclipsed it. You can't change it. We're not Michael J. Fox. I haven't got a DeLorean. We can't change it. It is what it is. It's in the history books, and it's in our very recent history at the moment. But it won't get forgotten, but it will get moved on if we finish above Liverpool and we win another trophy. And that's what they've got to go and do. They've let the fans down. Football lucky likeys. I like this. We've been doing titles of books that will never get written. I think the best one was Indestructible by me. It wasn't me. And my title was Indestructible by Anthony Martial. But there has been some good ones. But Manchester United wants to do football lucky likeys. Modric looks like Gail Platt. Yes. Well, we've had Piers Morgan as the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2. So if you've got any more, let me know. I haven't got any. They just make me laugh. Bad Habits by Mason Greenwood, says United. Oh, God, I don't know what I read about. Staying Up Late by Gareth Southgate. That's me. Why can't anyone seem to even come close to beat Mourinho's home unbeaten run, says thank you, Google. Because it was a bloody good record. You know, some of these things are hard to do. The Invincible thing was hard to do. Do you know how Arsenal did their Invincible thing? They drew 12 games. They got so locked into it. They were a very attacking team under Wenger, but they drew 12 games. A third of their season they drew because they got obsessed with being unbeaten. It's very hard to do it, but they focused on it. And that's why they drew so many games. They got to a point where they were actually, let's just make sure we don't lose. So the home unbeaten run, I think, hasn't Mourinho got the goals conceded in a season as well? Very hard to do. Very hard to do. Sideshow Bob, Mohamed Salah. Nah, I don't see that. And Team Rotation Guide by Eric Ten Hag, says Aman. Got any more lucky likeys? I'm going to find some for you. Can Chelsea do this in the second half? 1-0 up, 1-1 on aggregate. I've got one for Jolene Lescott. I'm not going to do it. It's not very nice. It's not mine. I've just seen a picture. Phil Jones and Beaker. Yeah, that's an old one. The Muppet. Obviously, Wayne Rooney and Shrek. That's an old one. Mbappe and Michelangelo from the Turtles. These aren't mine. I'm just reading them out. Arjen Robin and Jason Statham. Seeing if I can find a good one here. I tell you what, that's a good one. That's a really good one. You've got to be a bit old school to get this, but I'm going to come back to that one. That was good. I'm trying to see if another one. That's not too bad. John O'Shea and Paddy McGuinness. Maybe there's not many lucky likeys out there that are that popular. Interesting. Players are coming out for the second half. The one I had, it's a bit left field because you've got to be of a certain age, but Pavel Nedved and Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse. Not Roadhouse, Point Break. If you've ever seen Point Break, Patrick Swayze has got hair that is bleach blonde. Pavel Nedved. That's a good one. Getting Mistaken for Hulk Hogan by Avram Glazer, says the Riddler. I've done that one. What do you think about Arsenal next season in the Champions League? Semi-final for me, says Mohammed. It'd be nice for them to be back. I think the last time you were in the Champions League, you were getting smacked up by Bayern. Darwin Núñez and Jude Bellingham, says Rachel Todd. But they're not lookalikes. Right, second half's about to go. Are we going to get a winner or are we going to get extra time? 1-1 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. Here we go. Shooting Stars by Fred Omka. Al from Toy Story equals Rafa Benitez, says Paul. And Drogba is... I don't know what that's all about. Antonio Conte playing with the cam, says DJ. And Bruno and Kermit. No, there's no comparison there. Andrea Palermo and Chuck Norris. I don't know about that one either, Kaz. And Maldini and Helena Christensen. Kenneth, I don't know what sort of dreams you have, but Maldini's don't want to be in them. Rashford and Pixar's The Good Dinosaur, says Colin. Never seen it. Gollum and David Moyes, says Goris. That's just not very nice. Chelsea on the attack with Kovacic. Goes for the keeper. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Smeagol, says Golden. Which is also Gollum. Let's have a look. Chilwell puts the cross in. Hand is out. Not a penalty for me, but hand is out. Referee does see it. Be a harsh pen that, but considering... I'll tell you what I would say to Chelsea fans. Look at the handball that got given against Martinez in the Europa League against Sociedad, and then that's a handball. Oh. They're looking at the penalty. I told you. That's never a pen for me. But if Martinez against Sociedad is a penalty, then that is. But I don't know whether they're going to give it. I personally don't think it should be a pen. He's going to look at it. I don't think it should. I think the ball doesn't travel far enough, and he's trying to get his hand out of the way. So, is that a penalty for you? Yes or no? I don't think it should be, but what I will say is the one that was he's going to give it. The one that was given to against us was a shock. It was a disgrace. So I don't think he'll. I don't know whether he's going to give it. I don't know. Garsha says it's not a pen. Berbatov and Mark Strong, says Ricky. His back's turned. He's giving it. He's giving it. He's giving it. Big moment. It's harsh on Dortmund, but it's probably something that Potter's not been getting a lot of luck. Is that a penalty? You can vote. In the Prem, I don't think that's a pen. But in Europe, they get given a lot. I think, to be honest, I think what you've got to consider as well is when VAR asks him to take a look at it, how many times do they say no penalty? When there's a stat for you. How many times when they're asked to go and look at something do they say no, it's not a penalty? Oh, I love European football. There's something about European football midweek. I love it. You know, it's country against country. Love it. It's Havertz taking the pen, though. Wow, this is 50-50. If I was behind that goal, I'd get one of them police shields now. He could take your face off. He's holding his phone with a smile on his face behind there. He must be mad. That phone's going to smack in your face and break your nose. Havertz steps up, takes a deep breath in the London cold night. And he's hit the post. I told you. He's bloody useless. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, they're checking the penalty kick now. It's another penalty. It's another penalty. I can't speak. I can't speak. I'm just about to do a tweet taking the piss out of Havertz. It's a retake. Oh, wind it up. I can't speak. Dortmund must be fuming. You've got to feel for Dortmund here. Just by the way, I mean, he's not off his line there. Are you joking? You can't say you can't say the goalkeeper's off his line when Havertz has done the old step. I think that's really harsh on Dortmund. I mean, look, I'm not saying that Potter doesn't deserve a bit of luck, but I think that's really harsh. The keeper goes the wrong way. Havertz does the whole stutter, which is meant to be illegal. Oh, apparently there's a player in the box. It's not the keeper. Sorry, I take it back. I'm looking at the keeper on the line. Forget about it. It's a player in the box. It's encroachment. Fair enough. I thought it was because of the keeper. I was going to say the keeper's not moved off the line for me there. If he misses 2 penalties, you know what? If I missed this penalty, Havertz, I'd just run. I'd run out the ground and I'd run down the Thames and just keep running. Probably just keep running till I got to Dover. He scores, he goes the same way, and I thank God for that for Havertz, because if he'd missed that again, it's redemption. It's a bit of confidence for him. If he'd have missed that again, I don't know what you do, but it's 2-0 to Chelsea. They've been a little bit fortunate there. 50% of you said it wasn't a penalty. 50% said it was. You can understand Dortmund's frustration. If you're Arsenal, you're Chelsea, you're Man United, and you're in Dortmund's position, you're going to go mad. Because one, the penalty was a bit dodgy. Well, not dodgy. I just think it's probably not a handball in the Prem. And 2, somebody's gone into the bloody box. Can we sell Havertz to United? You need a striker, says Usman. You know, the funny thing is, if the penalty hadn't been taken, I had a tweet ready to go, and I was going to basically say, I genuinely think Chelsea would be fighting for 4th if they'd bought a striker and didn't play Havertz up front. I can't believe how often I watch Chelsea and he misses big chances. But they're in at the moment. They're 2-0 up. And this game's going to be a very interesting game now. Very interesting indeed. It's got to open up. It's got to open up. Every second of the night, na, 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 these dreams. I don't even know why I'm singing that. What are we thinking then? Potter finally gets a bit of luck. He hasn't had a lot of luck. It's not a lot of luck for Dortmund. They're not happy. But it is a lot of luck for Chelsea. And I can't say that they don't deserve it over the weeks. Oh, good header. Chilwell heads it away. Dortmund will keep coming, though. Don't you worry about that. They'll feel inspired. They'll feel wronged. New masterclass tactic. Kick the ball at the defender. Game is a joke. Clubs need to sign armless players, plus attacking player in the box and a retake so you miss but get another go for breaking the rule. This is Peter Bissett. And Rogine says, I'm 50-50 on the pen, but I keep saying it. Chelsea spent all that money and didn't address their main issue. Nobody to score the goals, says Rogine. Goals win prizes. Goals win prizes. Well, they don't. They win games. And, I think João Felix is good enough. I'm not convinced that Sterling and Havertz are. Defensively, Chelsea are fine. They're averaging, they don't concede many. Midfield, fine. Goals, not good enough. Graham Potter is the future. Well, I tell you what, you bet Graham Potter better not do well, because I won't shut up about it if he does. The amount of Chelsea fans, especially the social media ones, sack Potter now. Sack Potter now. I'm telling you, he's rubbish. You're going to look a right bunch of prats. Especially when it's your club that you're meant to bloody support and you can't even see. You can't even see what's going on at your club. It'll be Arsenal Mark too. And I won't shut up about it. Don't worry about it. Liverpool can have Bellingham, says Jar. No, there's a long. To be honest, there's a long time to go for Potter. He's got a very difficult job on his hands. It's a big ask for Graham Potter, the ex-Brighton coach, to turn Chelsea into the level they need to be. But I still think he deserves more time. How's Bellingham played, says Salah? Average. I say average, yeah. Long way to go in this game, though. Let's not start waxing lyrical. Imagine that, waxing lyrical. Basically, that's like waxing your legs while singing. Something I've never done. I don't like shaving. I used to have a job where for the first few years it was the law of the job to be clean shaven, and then as soon as I left that job I just don't like shaving. It's just I just don't like being clean shaven in any area. Goal! Oh, what a miss! Pellingham! That's a big miss by Pellingham. Yeah, that's what happens when you start liking posts of Man United losing. Sitter, absolute sitter. That's probably the worst miss I've ever seen. And I'm completely saying it because he liked a picture of us losing 7-0. Got in your head. Look, it says Pellingham on his back. He's a good player. I do like Jude Bellingham. I don't like him liking pictures of Man United getting stuffed. It was a big chance. It was a big chance. It stays at 2-0. But I tell you what, there's a long way to go here, and Dortmund have responded quite well. I'd make a change if I was Potter here. I'd get Sterling or Havertz off. He won't take Havertz off. I'd take Sterling off and put. Have they got Modric on the bench? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. You're all welcome on the United stand, but That's Football. The amount of times I do videos on here and I'll go, welcome to the United stand, and I look at the comments and go, you're not on the United stand. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty obvious why I get confused. But yeah, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, we're only 100 away from 921,000. We are on that road to 1 million subscribers with this community. If you don't believe me, look at the numbers. But it wasn't that long ago we hit 900k, so maybe this year we'll do it. So make sure you subscribe, get involved. There's Bellingham, nice little ball. Chelsea need an out ball at the moment. They're retracting a little bit here. Calm it down and keep a bit of possession. That's what I would do. That's a nice ball down the wing. I tell you what, that Wolf guy who gave the penalty away for Dortmund, I don't know a lot about him. He's fast and he's tall. Talk to me about what he's all about. Ramos has got to... Too fast, two-footed by Anthony, says Omkar. And Ramos has got to be second on the list if we can't get Osman. He's 21 goals and already this season has got 2 tonight, says Red. Yeah, everyone will be talking about him tomorrow. I tell you what, that Salah is a unit, isn't he? He's massive. He looks like he could eat Cucurella. And then Chilwell. And then probably have Enzo Fernandez for dessert. Still half an hour to go here. Have Chelsea scored too soon? Well, to be fair, that encroachment wasn't just a Chelsea player, it was a Dortmund player as well. So you can't just say it was a Chelsea player. Dortmund really in need of Adeyemi and Brandt. Hey, come on, you're making a good point there. Chelsea have got no forwards because they didn't buy any. Dortmund have got no forwards because they're injured. Makuku, Brandt went off injured. Adeyemi's not there. Surely they'll put Malen on. You know what? I've got to say, I've said this before. I'm surprised that Malen. I really thought Malen was going to end up being a top player. You know. Go on, switch it. Lovely play by João Felix. Not the pass, though. He's flopped, hasn't he, Danny? He says he's flopped at Dortmund. Good play by Reece James there. He's a massive player for Chelsea as well. Injured too often this season. Kante. When's Kante back? Have we got a date for Kante? I mean, he's a massive loss for them as well. I know they're not going to score your goals, but they get the tempo up. Yeah, Abdul's right. Trent posted a picture on Instagram of a 7-0 win against Manchester United, and Jude Bellingham liked it. Kante's back in training, says Mortensen. We need Kante on the pitch anyway, just for the smile, but I think he'll make a massive difference to Chelsea. He's only played 2 games this season, says Ahmed. If they get Kante back, look, a good season for Chelsea from this point would be to get into the top 8 and have a go in the quarterfinals. Now, is that Bryce Gittins? I've mentioned him. I think he's English. It is. Keep your eye on this guy. I'm telling you now, keep your eye on him. He's Bino Gittins, that's it. Jamie Bino Gittins. He's English. I'm telling you, he's gonna be one for the future. He's 18. He's only 18 years of age. He's born in London town. He was formerly played for England under-19s. He's actually been at Chelsea as a youth player, but he was at Reading and Manchester City, and then he's gone to Dortmund. Keep your eye on him. What a save by Kepa! They're going through the gears now. Chelsea need another goal here. That's Wolf with the shot. That's a good save by the keeper. That is a good save. Through the crowd. Wristed it. Strong wrists. President says he's 67 rated in FIFA. I had him on United Stand. That's why I know who he is. Ben Chilwell, best left back in world football, says Ellie. Kepa's been booked. Do you think Mbappe could knock Bayern out, says Mohammed? Well, we're going to do a watch along of that tomorrow night. It's a possibility. We'll keep an eye on Spurs, Milan as well, but I don't think Bayern will bottle that. You know why I don't think they'll bottle it? Because I think for PSG to win it, they will need individualism from Mbappe. But Bayern are a better team. Good play by Enzo Fernandez there. Tony, thanks for your super chat. Mark, myself and my partner are expecting our first child in November. Would you mind shouting out my wonderful partner Emma, says Jason. Big shout out to Emma and Jason. Congratulations. I'm not going to crack any jokes because this is true. Somebody did this about 9 months ago and I cracked a joke saying I hope it's yours. They messaged in and honestly emailed it and followed it up with an email and said, you know what, you thought I was joking on the stream. I've actually found out it's not mine. So, not going to joke about that. I'm just going to say congratulations to Jason and Emma. And Emma, if it isn't, let him know now. Don't let him take that. I'm a joke. That's a joke. No, apparently that person, we saw it. He came in the super chat, didn't he? I thought he was joking. He said, I found out it wasn't mine. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Then he did another super chat saying, no, it's definitely true. And then we got an email. I was like, oh. Basically, he was saying, I wish I'd listened to you at the time. I was like, well, no, I was joking. Conor Gallagher's coming on for João Felix with 25 minutes to go. That's an interesting sub. I mean, you know what? You've got Sterling and Havertz. They've scored a goal. He's kept them on. But João Felix is the best player. Why take off Felix, says George? Exactly. I just don't know. Scott Parker, taxi for Scott Parker. Well, plane for Scott Parker. He's going to get the sack. They're losing 5-0. Club Brugge to Benfica. 7-0 on aggregate. Orc says, what's your thoughts on Enzo Fernandez hate? Why is he getting hate? I think Enzo Fernandez for me is a little bit like Darwin Núñez. Probably left Benfica too soon, but will be superstars of the future. They really both should have had another year in Benfica. But obviously clubs have come in and made offers they can't refuse. So I still think that they've got development in them. But yeah. It'd be interesting to see what happens with João Felix, actually, because he's signed a new contract with Madrid, hasn't he? So it's not definite that he'll stay. That's a lovely ball into Conor Gallagher. He should get a foul for that, yeah. Okay, maybe Potter is at fault. What kind of sub is that, says Rogine. Lucy says Kante makes Chelsea a better team. Be interesting to see what happens to this Chelsea side when they get Kante back. But there's no guarantee that he's going to stay fit, is there? I mean, look, maybe it's the end of Kante. Maybe he's going to get a lot of injuries from now. I mean, he does pick them up quite regular. Would you still take João Felix at United, says Khalid? I would, and I know that I know Ten Hag would as well. Potter's gone defensive too early, says Paul. I agree. I agree. But can I just say, in Potter's defence, how many times has he played against European opposition? Like, literally, how many times has Graham Potter played a competitive knockout European tie? Is this the second time? Moani and Casido as cheaper alternatives for United, says Tony. That's a good cross. Koulibaly gets it out. I can see Dortmund getting a bit. I can see Dortmund scoring here. I can see extra time. Brango says he'd love to see another Chelsea goal. Kovacic has played well. That's a lovely ball into Sterling. Here we go. You've got to go for Reece James and he'll get there down the right-hand side. Power and pace of Reece James. Nice ball into Havertz. And Dortmund have got men back now. Lovely ball by Enzo Fernandez into Conor Gallagher, and he wins a corner. Kick says, it's great to see Haller back playing again. He was my hero when he was at Utrecht. Utrecht. Destiny is all. Oh, have a stretch. Oh, God. My back's locking up here. Hey, I need a bit of help, actually. I'm going to write some of these down. I forgot about this. So, I'm not saying it's close. I'm not even going to say... I'm not going to tell you anything about it, really. But I do, am, and are... Let's see what happens with this corner first, and then I'll tell you. Chilwell with the cross. Away. Kovacic. Away. I think they're going to clear it. Enzo Fernandez into Cucurella. Away again. Yes, so I am, is, and are working on this podcast that I've been talking about for about 3 years. But I can't really think of a name for a podcast because I've never really operated in the podcast world. And I don't know, I want something that's identifiably brilliant as a name for a podcast. I don't need ideas. I just need a name. I've already got the concept. That's fine. It's true. I am the guy, Mark. I should have listened to you, says Javi. Oh, what a shot. I'm not being insensitive. I don't know whether it was you, but yeah. Thank you very much. That's Football Podcast. No, it won't. It can't be that. I'm being paid too much money by a sponsor to be able to call it That's Football. Like we're talking 4 figures here, maybe 3. No, I can't call it That's Football Podcast. Gold Rush. That sounds like a quiz show. Goldbridge Global. Podbridge. No. Broadcast. Roll with it. Says Manchester United. 2 Oasis. It's to do with football, the podcast, so there you go. There you go. Building Goldbridge. Happy Hour. Does roll with that. There's one already. Talking Ball. Gold Chats. You don't have to get Bridge or Gold in the name. Like, Gary Neville's got a podcast called The Gary Neville Podcast. Who would have thought? And, yeah, but you know what I mean? There are podcasts out there that have just got nothing to do with the name. It could just be a really good football statement. The Gold Standard. I like that. There's probably one already. I've played the game. Yeah. Balling with Goldbridge. Golden balls. Pod of gold. Why don't we call it pot of gold and just go really Irish? Pot of gold at the bottom of the rainbow. Hee hee. Hello today and welcome to Pot of Gold with me, Mark Goldbridge, as we look for the pot of gold in the world of football. We'll have Roy Keane on the show and Dennis Irwin. That's meant to be an Irish accent, by the way. I'm not doing Pat Butcher. Sterling is offside again here. There's no way he's onside. He should pass it to Conor Gallagher. He was offside. He's offside. I played the game, says Dean Anslow. And Pot of Goldbridge, back of the net. Back of the net. That is one of my sayings as well. What are some of my football sayings that I do? Back of the net. Pratt. Pink boots. Pink boots. I think Pink Boots is a bit too old now. I don't think people associate Pink Boots with our content now. Pink Boots. That's what Max just said. Here's a lookalike for you, Mark. Harvey Elliott looks like a wish Jake Paul. As for the podcast name, The Pod of Football. There you go. That's not a bad one, Blakey. The Goldbridge zone. The Goldbridge zone. I like that. I do like that. I don't really want to use my name in it. Can Chelsea hold on? Well, Mallon's coming on. He's changed his hair to try and make himself look good. I'm Ronnie Pickering. I could do a podcast called I'm Ronnie Pickering. I'd love that. It's so edgy. Goldbridge Hot Takes. I actually thought of Goldbridge Hot Takes as a pod name, but I just don't think it works as a podcast name. Youth hostling with Chris Eubanks, says Jim. Tell you what, there's a lot of telly out at the moment, isn't there? I'm sorry, Chelsea fans. I'm trying to make the game go quick for you because I know you're very tense and nervous. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight, by the way. Please do subscribe. We're really close to 921k on the road to 1 million. Remember, that's Football's for everybody. We do loads of content on here. Normally do a daily sort of 10-minute topical thing. We've spoken about Potter shouldn't be sacked. Arteta's a genius. Liverpool not for sale. Super League. There's always something to talk about. So get involved. Get involved. You're very welcome. You know what I think's sad? I'll tell you what I think's really sad is that I saw Talk Sport today putting some video clips out, and as usual, the one with me on actually got the most views. But Simon Jordan did one on Brighton. Now, he can normally moan about anything and he'll get big views, but he actually did a really good video on oh my god, toenail offside for Sterling and his shoulder. He did a good video on Brighton. You know what? He hardly got any views. And I think that's such a shame. How does a club like Brighton become relevant? Because we all love get in with Goldbridge, says Mark. That sounds like a sex thing. No. I know what you mean because I do say get in, but get in with Goldbridge. It sounds sus that. The Goldbridge experience is tumbleweed. Sounds a bit arrogant, and could again be sexual. The Pratt cast. That's a good one. But you know, Brighton are brilliant, right? And this is what it got me thinking about football and money. You know, I did a video today on Liverpool. They're not going to get rich owners. They're going to stick as they are. I think it will be there. I think it will stop them winning titles. I think you've got to have money. I think you've got to have money to be successful. And look at Brighton. Even if Brighton defied the odds and got top four, they wouldn't be able to do it year after year unless they got loads of money. Because where are they going to get all the fans from? Where are they going to get the bigger stadium from? Man City have shown that you can be a Brighton, but you need the massive money to take you to the next level. It's sad, isn't it? I was just thinking about Brighton today. What a team they are. Everyone loves them. Play such great football. Wouldn't it be great if Brighton got top four? But the reality is, it will be a short-lived fantasy because they won't have the squad depth to do well in the Champions League, which means the Premier League's form will suffer, and they'll end up in 2 years, you know, fighting in relegation again. They need money. That's what my point is. Every team needs money to do well. The Gold Rush podcast, says Callum. Mark Goldbridge, the Keep Up podcast. I like that because I'm brilliant at keep ups. Thanks for that, Lee. The Gold Rush podcast we've done. Perry, my father was an Arsenal supporter, my brother Liverpool, and I United. How did this happen? Says Mark. That. It must be very interesting Christmas round your house, Per Eric. podcast names: Making, Leaving Your Mark, Conversations with Legends of the Game. Luke, you sound like a producer. Keep Ups with Goldbridge also sounds dirty. Yes, Stephen, you're right. You'll find dirt. You'll find filth in everything. The Golden Rational with Mark Goldbridge, says F Dragon. Golden Showers. I don't know why that came into my head. Loftus Cheek and Pulisic are coming on here. Golden Balls podcast, says Stuart. Remember that quiz show called Golden Balls? I think Jasper Carrott did it. Absolute crap. Probably got paid good money for it. Best thing Jasper Carrott ever did was retire. No, I actually used to like canned carrots, and I used to like Jasper Carrott stand up. Probably was total shit because I was young. The Talk Along with Mark Goldbridge, says Rob. Dan says, how do you like working for TalkSport? I actually really enjoy it. I get to go on and say what I want to say. I mean, there's not, I know there's a few people on there that, let's just say, have questionable opinions, but I'm allowed to go on there and I'm pretty much speak the way I speak on here, so I quite enjoy it. It's Always Burnley by Mark Goldbridge, says thank you, Google. Well, we've only got 8 minutes to go here. Gold as who, says Cosmic. 80 million quid for his forehead and he heads the ball like a bloody balloon, the podcast, says Thomas. Mark my words, says Darren. Well, I've done Mark my words. It's sort of that's for my channel podcast sort of idea. I like that. It's not football though. When Man City fans wonder why they've ruined football, they've developed 2 academy players into their first team last 25 years. United nearly 15, says Red Army. There you go. Hello, Mark. I heard the Champions League format is going to change next year, says Mohammed. I don't know whether it's next year or the year after. But it is going to change. It's going to become a league format. I don't like it. I've got to be honest. I don't like it. I don't like changing the Champions League. I like the Champions League how it is. Love your content all the way out here in Oklahoma. Any Americans you would take at Man United, says Wayne Bretsky. If Pulisic could stay fit, I'd take Pulisic. I liked Tyler Adams in the World Cup. At Leeds, it's not going as well. Brush your teeth with warm water podcast, says L2 Gaming. I can't believe people brush their teeth with cold water. Tell you what, I'd like to do a podcast called this, The Big Tackle. It works both ways. The Champions League podcast, says Usman. Here's a free kick for Dortmund. Should go for a corner. No, Chilwell will keep it in. The Best of Goldbridge podcast, says David Hall. The final whistle, says Admir. I didn't think I could do one more of a sexual innuendo than The Big Tackle that could also be a good name for a football podcast. And then I just heard someone. The Hard Tackle, which I think is a good name for a footballing podcast, but you could never call it that. The Hard Tackle. I think it's a brilliant name for a podcast, a football podcast, but it's also filth. When he's going for Goldbridge coming back, says Dr. Pillowcase, it will be coming back soon. There's just a lot going on. I've got to sort this bloody tour out. That's what's taking up my time. Talk Gold with Goldbridge, says it's Robbie. The lengthy tackle. But that's not nothing to do with football. No one does a lengthy tackle. They do a hard tackle. They do a big tackle. Lengthy tackle, you really are wandering into categories for a porn site. Or search terms. Zakaria's coming on. Don't forget, tomorrow night we will be doing Bayern Munich against PSG. 1-0 to Bayern Munich in Paris. What will happen in Dortmund? This is a big win for Chelsea if they get it. Not going to jinx it, but it would be a very big win. Have Chelsea been lucky? Look at the stats. Look at the shots on target. Look at the shots right next to me. 13 shots to 8. I think Chelsea have deserved this, but what I would say is that Potter definitely deserves a bit of luck. He's not had a lot of luck. Chelsea don't get beat 3 or 4-0 every week. They've been losing 1-0, drawing. They can't score goals. They needed to score 2 tonight. They have. I think they deserve a bit of luck. Not without my pink boots and bringing Phil Jones as a co-host, says Schlock. Yeah, if Phil Jones is retiring, I've seen he's done a bit of punditry. Imagine Goldbridge and Phil Jones on a podcast. That would be brilliant. Call it Pink Boots. That would bang, wouldn't it? For one episode, and then he'd lose his voice and wouldn't be able to do one for about 6 months. Tagged you in another Insta story, says Matt. I'll have a look. One man press, says Bing. And Bridgeside, says Abdullah. I've really enjoyed the show tonight. I've enjoyed the game as well. It's sort of been a nice backdrop game and then a conversation. Pounding the area. We're not looking for porn podcasts now. These have got nothing to do with football. Watch out. Malon's about. Edge of the box. Chan. Watch out. Malon's about. Dun-dun. The cross comes in. Back post. Over the bar. I tell you what, if they'd let that go to the back post, Bellingham, they would have had a shot. Raw talent, says Shadow. That really sounds like... I can't say it. That sounds... Raw talent sounds like... Yeah, that sounds sus as well. Down the tunnel, that's sus. Who's the tunnel talk? Up the tunnel. Keep you ups with Goldbridge, says Dylan. And you could call your podcast something like Gold Blend or maybe the Golden Pitch, says Forrest. Wayne... Alejandro, thank you very much. Well, I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed some of the stuff. Here we go. Havertz, slip him in. Pulisic, terrible pass. 89 minutes, though. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner if you haven't. Remember, tomorrow night we'll be live for Bayern PSG. I completely forgot to tell you what games we're going to do as watch-alongs at the weekend. We'll do PSG tomorrow against Bayern, and then Friday night we're going to do Inverness Caledonian Thistle against Kilmarnock. Don't miss that one. Saturday lunchtime it's Bournemouth Liverpool. I don't know whether I'll do that. Havertz is Pulisic is just missed, but I think he was offside. Saturday games aren't great. Well, you got Bournemouth Liverpool, Everton Brentford, Leeds Brighton, Leicester Chelsea, Tottenham Forest, and then Palace Man City. That's not very good. That's not very good. I might do 3 o'clocks. Sunday, Newcastle Wolves, West Ham Villa. Crap games this weekend in the Prem. What's going on? There's no big game. I've played the game. 3v2. He's too slow, Zakaria. Rubbish. 6 minutes added on. Dortmund are going for it here. The Whistle Blows podcast. That's definitely been done, Jonathan. When the Whistle Blows. No, that was a comedy on Extras, wasn't it? The grass is always greener with Goldbridge. Green grass. Wolf, what's going on here? Bit of pushing and shoving. Upper 90 with Mark Goldbridge, says Brandon. Mark Goldbridge fighting for every inch. Beating your man with Mark Goldbridge, says Luke Jones. Talk gold with Goldbridge. J-Lar. I do like beating your man with Mark Goldbridge because that's a footballing term, but it also makes me sound like I'm hard. Beating your man by like Goldbridge. But then people will see me and go, he couldn't beat a cucumber. He couldn't beat an egg. I'm a talker, not a fighter. Hi Mark, first super chat. I want to say you inspire so many. By the way, the Bridge, the Goals podcast, says Jacob. Thank you very much, pal. Well, I've enjoyed tonight. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I really have. I hope Potter gets this done. I think he deserves a bit of luck, like I said, and it'll be a big win for him, and it will take the pressure off him, and all the crap about sacking him before the end of the season will stop from people who should know better, who just do it for content. Sack. I mean, how you can sit there as a Chelsea fan and say sack the manager who's only been there a few months. He's not had a pre-season. He's not really been given the players that he wants. It's an absolute mess. Sack him. I mean, it's just so irresponsible. I don't think that's supporting your club. I don't think that's supporting your club, in my opinion, and I'm allowed to have one. Goldbridge talks balls, the football factory. Goldbridge on the ball, says Blakey. Ha, 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 ha. That's over the line with Mark Goldbridge. I like that. How many years is that clip now? How many years old is Pink Boots and that FIFA clip? That was over the line. They must be 5 or 6 years old now. Dortmund losing to the 10th place team in the Prem, says Joey. I forgot about that. The Prem again. The 433 podcast or the Kickabout podcast, says Colin Paris. Goldbridge Insight or the Golden Insight. I don't think Dortmund are going to do this, but there is still 2.5 minutes to go. Studs up with Goldbridge, sponsored by Sneak, says Stephen. It works. Hello and welcome to the Studs Up podcast with me, Mark Goldbridge. We're sponsored by Sneak. Sugar-free, low-calorie. No. I'll tell you who we are sponsored by. OneFootball. They do the stats for us, the stats carousel. Links in the video description. Download it for free on Apple and Android. Get all your latest breaking football news for your clubs and around Europe and the world. Plus, they individualise their stats. We just do team stats, but you can look at the players individually, pass successions, tackles, etc. Download it for free on Apple and on Android. Corner to Dortmund here. 2 minutes to go. Marco Reus is down injured. That's no surprise. Slow Sports News. Schlock says all these names just to end up calling it the Mark Goldbridge That's podcast. I definitely can't do that. Theatre of Goldbridge Dreams, says Seamish. Cross comes in. Oh, don't turn your back. He's got to shoot, Chan. Should have shot. The Goldbridge set piece is rubble. Cross comes in. They're queuing up. They're queuing up. Straight at the keeper. Stick it in the box, says Louis. Going for the corner, Havertz. They've got a 4v4. They could get a goal here. Still going, Havertz. He'll get chopped in a minute. Oh, they're just fouling now, Dortmund. Petulant. Bellingham's trying to pick Chilwell up. I don't know what's going on really now. Dortmund just been a bit petulant, I suppose. He did barge him down. It's probably hurt Chilwell, to be fair. He absolutely gives him a right shoulder in the ribs. Goal side with Goldbridge, says JP Squirrel. And call it Soccer Box, says Jack Brown. I did fucking have the name Soccer Box before Neville as well. That was nabbed. Ow. Could do a swimming pod. Diving with Goldbridge, or a food one, Diving with Goldbridge. Yeah, I had... The very first bit of content I ever did on YouTube was Soccer Box. I've got the video. I'm going to play it one day. It had a theme tune and everything. It was absolutely shit. It was shit. Absolute shit. But it was called Soccer Box. And then 3 years later, old Neville started a series called Soccer Box. Coincidence? Could do a swimming pod, Diving with Goldbridge, or a food one, Dining with Goldbridge, your experiences with Slimming World, Dieting with Goldbridge. Luke, dogging with Goldbridge. I said it. I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. The Cross Comes In with Goldbridge, works as a football and religious podcast. Stephen. I love it. Combine two things. Football and cooking. Reece James is down injured here. I don't know what happened. Bellingham, right on his shin. I tell you what, that should be that was a nasty tackle by Bellingham on Reece James. Should get a yellow card for that. They've lost their head a bit, Dortmund, but that's the final whistle. Graham Potter, Todd Boehly and Chelsea go through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And I tell you what, get some sleep, Graham. Those bags under your eyes are looking big. And I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased for him because he's taken so much shit over the last few weeks. Not even a Chelsea fan, but taken so much shit from the outside, from his own fans. Been haunting him unfairly, and they've got a bit of luck. They've got a bit of luck, but they've got over the line, and it's a fantastic result for Chelsea. They'll be in the draw next week. Those players just need to play for Potter, and let's see what happens at the end of the season. But that's a good result for Chelsea, and I'm pleased for Potter, mainly because I sort of predicted that he'll work out being a good manager, but. Fantastic result. Unlucky for Dortmund. They're a good side. They are a good side, Dortmund. It was a good contest over 2 games, but big win for Chelsea. Let's talk soccer, says John. Well, we have been talking soccer for the last, or football as I call it, over the last couple of hours. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're back tomorrow night, of course, with PSG's trip to Bayern. And thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe. And thanks for all the interaction. It's been brilliant tonight. I really enjoyed it. And I hope you have as well. That's football. The place for all of you and me. Speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.